The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Sciforror Film Podcast. I'm Andy Walker and I am talking today to Daniel Attrill and Louis. I can never remember your name.
It's Lewis. I pronounced it, yes.
Lewis
Taylor, yeah.
Taylor, that's it. Who are here because a film I went to see at the Romford Horror Film Festival called Dead to Me. So we have talked to you before. Quite a while back now.
About 3 years ago, I think.
About 3 years. So what have you been doing since then, apart from making Dead to Me?
So do you want to go first or should I go first, Lewis?
Go for it, Dan. Go for it.
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember last time we was on here, we were speaking about a sort of a sequel feature film to our previous short film, The Haunted Hall.
Yeah.
The Haunted Heist is still kind of in production. It's right at the end. We've got one more day of filming, which is happening on the 5th of April. So it's almost actually filmed, and it's a bunch of it's been edited. But yeah, the film still ain't out since 3 years ago, unfortunately. We said we were going to film in a couple of days after that previous podcast, and we still haven't finished it. But The Haunted Heist is going to be finished. It's going to be finished hopefully about halfway point this year, maybe towards the end of the year. But that film will be seen to the world finally.
It is
after
coming.
a very long time.
Coming,
we promised it. We promised it at the film festival, one after the one that was shown at Haunted Hall. I think it was 2022 we showed that. So we promised it at Romford Horror Festival 2023. Obviously, it didn't come, but it will be there in 2026, hopefully. But yeah, we've been doing that. We filmed that. That went decent. There's been lots of delays, obviously, that's why it ain't been completed. But that we've filmed most of that. We literally got about 2 hours of filming left for that, so that's fine. And then we also, I've been focusing on sort of music videos and stuff the last couple of years, working with local talent around me. And then late, not last year, but the year before, me and Lewis decided we're going to hop back in on the short film thing. So I got on with Dead to Me, which we filmed in last February. It finished editing around about the end of October, November, and then it was ready for release into the film festivals this year. And obviously Lewis has been been doing some stuff as well. So Lewis, tell the people what you've been doing.
The people, yeah, no. I've also, as much as like working with Dan on those projects, and then also I'm shooting. Well, I still am shooting. I say you could say a sequel to Dull. You know, the short film.
Yeah.
That was previously at Romford Horror. Well, it was in 2022 now, wasn't it? And we spoke about the film. Obviously, you see the film as well, Andy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing a sequel to that called Dull's Sinister Curse, and we've shot. We've done 2 days shooting, which was last year, and we've just got to do our final day. So we're going to plan to do that final day within the next couple of months. But yeah, that is it's in a very similar vein really to the first film, but we're trying to up the ante this time. We're trying to make it more of a gore factor in it, more disturbing, something that I think horror fans are going to love.
Right.
But it's in the format is quite similar to the first film, but I just wanted to, it's going to be a bit more of a shock factor to it, I think, this time around. But yeah, and also I've just been doing a lot of writing as well. There's something like sometimes you don't want to say too much because there's all these projects that are at different stages of development and you don't know which one's going to go forward and which one's going to kind of stay on your laptop for another 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get back into the action genre. There's a character that I'm trying to bring back that I did a short film in 2018, short action film, and I'm trying to bring that character back into a new setting, a new film. So yeah, there's just things going on at the moment that we're trying to develop and just keep busy really. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's cool. All right. So The film I watched at the film festival was Dead to Me. So who came up with the idea for that, and how did you develop that?
So I came up with the idea. It was a bigger short film a couple of years ago when I first came up with the idea. It was actually a bigger, sort of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half hour kind of short film. Um, However, it was just an idea that just kept playing sort of in my head. I wrote the half of the original script, and when we came back to make, like, say, like, okay, we've still got a while till we finish Haunted Heist, so let's get back on the short film train. So I kind of looked back to my previous projects, and I was like, oh, we've got this Dead to Me idea, but we don't want to make something too big. We just want to sort of go back. It's sort of because it's been a while since we last filmed. It was to kind of, get the rust off. So we
Yeah,
were like, we don't want to do something too big. We want to do something smaller. So I ended up taking Dead to Me, the original script, and changing it into this what you see today. A short, I think it's 9 minutes long overall. Short 9 minute film, much more simpler, but it's the same premise basically, the same haunting and all that sort of stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, so we came up with that with doing that, turning that into a short film, and then I was the one because it was my idea. I took over doing the directing and then obviously casting. Me and Lewis produced the whole film, so we both went through the casting and all that stage, and then yeah, obviously Lewis is the main actor in the film.
Mhm.
I did all the cinematography. That's why I don't even have a cameo in the film. Uh,
Not this
and
part.
yeah, that's basically how it went. And we filmed over 2 days. We got a great cast. It was a four-person cast. Um, we got them down for 2 days, back to that back day. So it was over like a weekend, 2 day shoot, Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, it came out great. We kind of ran out of time a little bit, so we had to hurry towards the end of the shoot. But me and Lewis, by now, we're filming this feature film. We're used to doing film, like getting fit scenes done within a very short time limit. So yeah, so that's how that film got made.
Mhm. I mean, one of the things that always gets me with especially with short films with low budgets, that sort of thing, the quality of it, especially when you're filming outdoors, because of the fact you don't have as much control over the light and the extraneous sound and all that sort of thing. But it really worked well. The look of the film for the outdoor shots was really good. Um, how do you try to keep control of that?
For Dead to Me, it was luckily because we filmed in February. It weren't sunny days; it was two grey days. One day was more windy than the second day was more windy than the first. First, we got quite lucky. It weren't that windy. It was grey. Everything just sort of because obviously if it's sunny, you got shadows that really deepen on people's faces, and it looks odd. And you have to bring out the reflector, maybe even put up a light to try and counter the sun's lighting. But luckily for the both days, it was fine. It was fine. It was just cloudy, and it was perfect for filming conditions. There
Mm.
was the odd time where the sun, especially on the second day, because it was more cloudy, more unpredictable. There was times where we had to put um, like a reflector or something to block the sun, basically to block it from like fake it, just basically blocking the sun from impacting the scene, especially on characters' faces.
Yeah.
So we were lucky. That's all I can say. We were lucky.
Mm.
Uh, This is why it's ideal anyone that wants to get into filmmaking. Summer sounds fantastic to do a filming because you get longer days and all this sort of stuff. But if you're filming outside, it if you haven't got a full budget to block out the sun and do whatever you want, it is terrible to film in. So I do recommend if anyone is looking to make a film, to film either late autumn or early springtime, maybe even in the winter if you can bear the cold.
Yeah, you got more chance of that overcast kind of weather, which is perfect for filming because you've got a consistent look and consistent light to everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And
Yeah.
with a lighting set up, you can also make it look summer if you want to do that in an overcast day. But yeah, when it's summer, it's very hard, especially because sometimes if you're filming in the shadow, and me and Lewis have been through this a few times, filming a shadow like a shadowy area, but then you've got a bit of area where the sun is beaming, that will be well overexposed.
Yeah.
Mm.
because obviously you're used to, the camera's set up to film in this shadowy area, so the sun is just so in your face. So
Mm.
yes, everyone, overcast days, perfect days of filming.
Right.
Sunny days is not that great.
Yeah. So the rest of the cast, were they people you already knew, or did you just get people to audition?
We that was from we got people to that from social media, Dan, wasn't it? It was from Instagram, I believe.
Yeah, we went small. Normally, if we do a bigger film, sort of like The Haunted Heist, we normally go and do a casting call. We throw like a casting call out on social media,
Mm.
through stuff like Star now and stuff like that. But this film, because we wanted to just have a kind of a quick turnover, because we wanted to film quite quickly. This one was, I think, was just social media.
Mm.
Patrick, the one who plays Mike in the film, he's uh, a close friend to my older brother, so he's the only one that, and Lewis are the only ones that we gave roles to. The two girls in the film, we actually cast them through social media. But yeah, I think it was only through social media platforms for them
Right.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And the effects in there, who did you do all of the effects yourself, or?
Oh no, we had a really good makeup artist called Isabella Lata, and we'd worked with Isabella three times before, I believe. Three times, isn't it? On three short films beforehand, and
Yeah, The Run, Twisted,
and
and
Aliens too.
Gangers 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So like she's amazing at what she does. I mean, we want to work with her again. Actually, there's some projects we have that should be ideal for. Actually, she's working.
Ideally as well, we're trying to get. We are planning on having her for Doll 2 as well.
Well, she's on Dole. Yeah, she's gonna hopefully be involved in Dole 2 as well. But yeah, she's great and she done the special effects and yeah, we'd love to work with her again. Like she's so talented at what she does.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit they were very good. The effects were very good. It was a kind of amongst the films that they were on there, it kind of stood out because they worked really well.
I think it.
Um, so it's at the moment it's on the festival run. Are you in any other many other festivals with that at the moment, or?
Not yet, or it's been submitted to a few festivals. It won another competition as well. Won one of the awards in the competition, but throughout the year, I'm planning on submitting it to many others. Unfortunately, a lot of them, luckily, I mean, a lot of them are going for a long time because obviously a lot of these festivals happen around Halloween. So a lot of them, you just look at them and be like, oh, like, I got so long to submit this. Obviously, it might get a bit more expensive the longer you wait.
Yeah,
But yeah, at the moment, I currently submitted it into four. We will submit it into much more going forward. But at the moment, yeah, it's just in four. It obviously was shown at Romford. It won this festival. We're waiting for the other two to see what we get from that, and then yeah, we'll be submitting to loads more over the next couple of months.
Mm.
cool. So, are you? I mean, apart from Dole 2, are you finishing the Haunted Heist? Are you planning on doing any more short films, or are you looking to try and work on another feature after?
Yeah.
Well, the idea for me is I have got another short film all cast, and I've announced it already called Payback,
Mm.
which is actually an action film.
Right.
I'm stepping out of horror for this little short film. I've only ever done one action film before, and I feel like just because I've been doing horror for so long, I wanted to just come out of it for a little bit and do another short film. So this film hopefully will be filmed in a couple of months' time. As I said, it's been cast. There's a script, and yeah, it's all ready basically to film. We just need to get location sorted and that sort of stuff, and the dates booked in. But outside of that, it's all ready to film. So that should be coming, and hopefully we'll go on to a festival run next year, which it won't be at Romford Film Festival because it's not a horror, but hopefully it'll be in the
Well,
actual
not Romford
Romford,
Horror, but the normal one. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah,
normal one, yeah,
the main
Romford.
one. Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be in Romford Film Festival, not Romford Horror Film Festival.
Yeah.
And I'm also very, very, very early stages of another feature film. Um, but I don't really want to say much about that until things get more finalised about that film and whether it's
Okay.
actually going ahead. It's most likely will, but it's just one that at the moment I don't want to announce. Go, it's happening, and then it never comes out. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm very, very early stages of a feature, and then payback will definitely be happening, and that will be hopefully out next year at the festivals.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm involved in Payback. I'm gonna be the lead in that film, Payback. I'm trying to myself shift into more of the action genre because I think originally that's kind of more of what the kind of films that we did actually. When I look back, like we was more involved in those kind of action, kind of grittier kind of stories. And the horrors kind of come later, really from necessity, really, to try and progress. But yeah, I want to try and, as well as work on Payback here, I want to try and, there's another action film I'm trying to bring to the forefront. Um, and also, I'd love to kind of go into the British gangster uh, genre as well, because that's very popular. But trying to do it in a way that's more original than we've seen before.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just trying to. Um, we're not abandoning horror at all. We're still going to keep making horror films, but we're just trying to kind of work on different things.
It's always good to do more than one thing. I mean, I think sometimes people you get stuck in one place, and sometimes the ideas and the films get a bit stagnant. So you can, by branching out and doing something different, you can bring something different back to the horror films when you go if you go back to
Yeah,
those, that sort of thing.
Uh, yeah, I am going. I will say that feature, that idea, well, it is a horror.
Right.
It also has another. It does have another genre attached to it, but it is a horror. So for me, because I'm a massive horror fan, I won't be stepping away from horror for too long.
Yeah.
Um, I'll definitely be back at it. But mainly, I think me and Lewis will agree. Our features at the moment will mainly be horrors.
Mm,
The shorts we can more experiment with anyway,
Yeah.
experiment with others. But for progression into the film industry, our features at the moment do need to remain as horrors at the moment.
mm.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, think about it. There's one feature actually that I'm developing. Is it's like a blend of action and horror because it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of
All
film.
right.
So I'm trying to, yeah, like Dan said, we're trying to stay true to making horror features, but this one's kind of incorporating the action blend. So I'm trying to blend the two together, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's something else that we've got going at the moment as well.
So we've got two films that are blended two genres
Yeah,
currently.
yeah,
Well, it's always good to cross over and have different things in different films. So, with Dead to Me, the idea behind this, was there anything behind the story that kind of fed into that? Was it a I don't mean to say was the whole thing based on something that actually happened to you, but was there some kind of personal thing behind the story?
Um, well, it's just like obviously heartbreak. We've all been through heartbreak. That's sort of the metaphor of the film. Obviously, people don't go to the extreme and kill someone, but heartbreak, you probably still feel how these characters feel in the film.
Yeah,
You probably still want to do the things that happen to these characters, like the ones that the victims still get to do what, like when you go through heartbreak, you want to do that. There's that impulse, even though all of us say obviously we're not going to do it, but that impulse is there.
yeah,
And if you can get away with it and be this weird spiritual ghost, why not do it, eh? Why not do it? Obviously, as I said at the screening in the Q&A, one thing that inspired it in my head, even with the original script, was sort of Evil Dead. They're not deadites, they're not demons.
mm,
If I had a big budget, I would have made them more demonic. Like there could have been a premise. Maybe they made a deal with a demon or something like that. But obviously, that's not. None of that is the case. But I wanted to sort of do that. Yeah, dead things in the woods, and I would have had. Obviously, it's implied with. I'll try and not spoil the film.
yeah,
But what happens to Lewis's character at the end of the film is very implied. What happens to him?
mm,
Obviously, I would show it all if I had the budget to do it, and
yeah,
it'd be
yeah,
very much Evil Dead-ish kind of thing. But yeah, that's sort of the inspiration was the look, the visual, sort of the gore. I wanted it to be very Evil Dead, but then yeah, it was sort of just based on heartbreak, and how I feel like a lot of people can relate to being at that point where you just like fresh heartbreaking, like I want to do this thing to this person to get
Yeah,
my revenge.
Mm.
But if you're dead,
yeah, yeah.
could you get
I
away with it?
think, I mean, I think it worked well doing it the way you did. I think it's interesting. Sometimes I find that the people, they show much more in the film than they really need to, and implying things sometimes works a lot better because it leaves you with a feeling of like, oh, that's a bit weird, that's a bit odd, and that kind of oddness adds to the
Yeah.
It was
horror
Yeah.
of it.
it was
So
interesting.
one of my favorite films of all time is The Blair Witch Project. Like
Right.
that film terrifies me. And that whole film is use your imagination. The
Yeah,
entire film.
Mm.
Obviously, I've seen people watch it, especially nowadays. People watch it like, what is this? So boring. What's going on? You don't see nothing. And it's like,
yeah,
but if you use your imagination, which the film does require you to do,
Mm.
depends what you can conjure up in your head, makes it more scary than not.
yeah,
Also, for me as well, like I was playing a character that I've never really played before, like someone who there's like a psychotic mindset this character has, and um he almost like in him he like believes that what he's done is justified in a
yeah,
way, and he's almost like trying to emotionally manipulate his girlfriend, almost like trying to explain to her and tell her without ruining the film and such, but he's like almost like trying to manipulate her into believing that what he's done is perfectly fine and it's justified, and it's not, so for me,
yeah,
well, that was like a challenge to play a character but do it in a very subtle way, like someone who's very deluded and very psychotic, but do it in a very, very kind of subtle, not over the top, not too dramatic, but you can see that there's something wrong with this guy, and he's, and that was interesting for me to play.
yeah,
And
yeah,
one thing I will say as well about the character is this is his first time of doing like this is the only time he's done it. Obviously, he won't do it again by the end of the film. But basically, I've seen if people think, oh, it's quite a sloppy job what they did there. They did that. They killed him and all that. Whatever. Non spoilers. I always said, even to Lewis, I said to him like that character. If what happened to him didn't happen, they would have got caught and arrested anyway.
yeah,
That's what I said. They
yeah,
wouldn't have got away with it.
Nah.
But that was intentional because I wanted it to make a sort of a sloppy job for the film. Because a lot of the times, and playing on to that was a lot of times, when people were like, oh, the people are dumb, they're dumb, why are they doing this, why are they doing that?
yeah,
Done it intentionally. Obviously, yes, they are being dumb. Why do they think they could get rid of, do what they did in the film and think they could get away with it?
Mm.
But something else got on before the police could get to them.
yeah. No, it's good. Yes. Well, I enjoyed the film. I thought I think it was really good. Well, it's a well-made film. You guys always seem to make good films, and I'm looking forward to see what comes next. I'm hoping the Dead to Me does well in any other festivals you put it in, and looking forward to see the other films next year when they come out. Thank you very much for this short interview, and hope to talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, thanks,
Yes,
Andy. We appreciate it.
thank you for having
Great
us.
to come on.
No problem. So there will be a link up to the trailer for Dead to Me that's on YouTube, and to Daniel and Lewis's socials. So keep an eye out for their films in the future, and we'll see you again. Bye.
See you
See
later.
ya.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.